This is the Morning Swim Show for Tuesday, January 19th, 2010. I'm your host, Peter Bush. We're going to have another interview from that CeraVe Invitational. Right now, let's go to Garrett McCaffrey.
Swimming World TV, joined by Elizabeth Beisel, our Performer of the Week. Congratulations on a great weekend, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
So, a lot of swimmers had a great weekend of racing this weekend. We saw some fast stuff at the Grand Prix in Long Beach. Chloe Sutton with a very nice 500 freestyle, 4:36, very impressive stuff. Peter Vanderkay, some solid times over in Europe. But overall, Elizabeth Beisel took on one of the more aggressive lineups that I've ever seen. And let's just kind of go through Elizabeth's weekend. Day number 1, 800 freestyle was the first event. 8:44.1 was her first win in the finals there. The 200 freestyle was the next win, 2:02.52 on day number 1. And then she followed that up with a victory in the 200 IM, a 2:16.16. But wait, there was more. The 800 freestyle relay, you'd think she would get a pass on that 800 freestyle relay, but no such luck. She went third and made up a 7-second differential on that third leg to secure the win for her Bluefish girls on night number 1. Whew, catch your breath, turn around. Another aggressive schedule on day number 2, the 400 IM. Arguably the best performance of any of the races this weekend, 440.67, just 1 second off of Katie Hoff's meet record of 439. Follow that up with a 100 backstroke, not too shabby, 102.76 in that 100 backstroke. 400 freestyle was the next event, doubling up 2 400s in one night. She said that was the first time she's done anything like that. Took the win in 4:16.99. And then led off the medley relay in a 1:04.64. It was a very close medley relay. Winded up coming down to that anchor leg. Bluefish finishing second. Haven't had enough yet. Let's try day number 3. The 200 breaststroke was her first event, and the only red ribbon that Elizabeth got in the individual events, finishing second behind Annie Zhu. 2:35.30 was her second place time, following that up with a 2:11.32 to take the win in one of her best events, the 200 backstroke. If you remember back to 2008, that's what she represented the Stars and Stripes in Beijing in. And then the 200 fly was her last individual event of the weekend, 2:16.01. Then there was the relay, as if that wasn't enough, 58.1 on the second leg of that 4x100 freestyle relay. What, no 1500? You really wussed out this weekend, huh?
I think Chuck was deciding between the 1500 and the 2 breasts, and I was absolutely not the 1500. I'm tired of listening to that. I mean, that amount of events, I can't imagine what I would be if I actually swam the 1500, so.
Let's think back to day 1, starting off in that 800 freestyle. Why do you do an event like the 800 free? It's not the 1500, but it's still a pretty long distance.
I think Chuck loves to beat us down, and I only swim it once a year, and it's always at this meet, so I haven't. Nice music in the background. All right.
Little Dr. Dre kicking in.
But definitely getting in that meter racing, 8 free. It's a tough event, but keeps us strong, mentally strong. So
I talked to Chuck yesterday, and I said, does she ever complain about these kind of schedules? And he said, no, it's the complete opposite. She'd be complaining if she wasn't in these events. Is that right?
Definitely, I don't want to, spread any negative energy, but it's definitely tough swimming this amount of events. I'm so tired right now, but I take pride in being able to swim all those events and do pretty well in it. It's definitely mentally draining, getting up race after race. I mean, with only like 10 minutes warm down, this meet was really, chop chop. There wasn't much rest, so it's tough.
You're so friendly, so I don't want to say that you're, kind of cutthroat behind the blocks, but I saw you behind the blocks in that 800 free relay. It was, the 4th event for you in that finals, and, you're very bubbly and happy coming up to the blocks, but then kind of taking a peek over, seeing who you were going to have to run down from that Long Island squad over there in lane number 3. Talk about your race mentality. I know you're a very friendly person, anything but mean when it comes to just interaction outside of the pool, but in the water, it's time to go. It's time to win for Elizabeth Beisel. Is that pretty accurate?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In the water, it's game time. Everybody's looking at me through the window.
We've got a window right here. Elizabeth's
like,
adoring fans coming by and waving.
But definitely behind the blocks. I don't want to be intimidating at all. I mean, I love everybody I swim with, and I don't want to scare anybody. But once I'm on the blocks and doing something for the team, it's game time. Got to put on that game face and stay serious. But I enjoy what I do, and I'm not that type of serious person who's gonna put a burden on my shoulders and be all grumpy behind the blocks. I'm just trying to have fun with it. So
and it shows in your swimming. Very, very impressive stuff. The most impressive of all the swims, though, that 400 IM on night number 2.
Yeah.
Were you expecting a 440.6?
Not at all. And we talked before the race, and he asked me if I was going to go after the 39.
Yep.
Was the meet record, and we're just coming off a training trip. We're not really fresh at all. We've had a week of not very low yardage, but still pretty beat up, and definitely wasn't expecting a 440. It's my best time without a suit. So I think all my times this weekend were best times without a suit, and for right now, that's really good for where we are. So definitely excited we're on the right path. So
talk about battling a 200 butterfly after 3,500 meters of racing this weekend.
Yeah.
How rough was that last 50 in the 200 butterfly tonight?
It was really rough. The girl next to me, Bridget, she's a really good 200 flyer. Germantown, they train really tough. But, after doing 2 events, I really wanted to just get a good time in and race. It was nice to have a race. It definitely made it easier. But that last 50 was killing me, and I just put my head down and tried to get to the wall first. But it was hurting.
Is it setting in at all? You said before night number 2, this is your last time here at the CeraVe Invitational.
Yeah.
This spring, kind of the last cycle of meets that you've been doing for years. I mean, you're a meet record holder in a bunch of events here, and there's a lot of other events that are coming up that it's going to be your last time wearing that bluefish cap at least during the year.
Yeah.
Is that setting in at all? Any emotions kind of coming into play at all?
Yeah, it definitely set in once I signed, and it's sinking in a little bit now. Thinking about it, and I'll be like, oh, I can't wait for next year, but oh wait, I'm gonna be in Florida. But I'm definitely so excited to work with Coach Troy and everybody down there. Especially the weather; it's gonna be beautiful. I won't have to deal with all the snow and stuff, but it'll be a lot different. Not working with Chuck. Chuck and I have a great relationship, but I have trust in him and Coach Troy with working together and what I need and stuff. And I'm not nervous at all, but I am. But it's gonna all work out.
We're all excited to watch. Have nothing but faith that it's going to work out very well for you, Elizabeth. It's Elizabeth Beisel joining us. She's our Performer of the Week this weekend. That is it from the 2010 CeraVe Invitational. Sending it back to you, Peter, in the studio.
Thank you.
And just a reminder, you can watch all of the races from the CeraVe Invitational in New Jersey on Swimming World TV on demand. All the races and interviews right there for you on Swimming World TV. I'm Peter Bush, reminding you to keep your head down at the finish. Swimming World magazine begins its 51st year with a look back at the biggest events of 2008. On our cover is South African Cameron Vanderberg, who figured in many of the top headlines of the last year, from his numerous world records to his dominance on the World Cup circuit. Our look back at the top stories of 2008 begins on page 7, where Jason Marsteller recaps the events in and out of the pool that captivated aquatic sports fans. We also look back on the 5 World Cup meets, which saw more than a dozen world records broken in 6 weeks. That recap begins on page 16. One of the top people to watch in 2010 is Ariana Kukers, and senior writer John Lone profiles the world record holder on page 18. And we continue to look ahead to 2010 with a peek into the schedules of synchronized swimming, diving, water polo, and open water swimming. Our main section closes out with a list of the 10 most influential people in USA Swimming on page 24 and a rundown of the National Age Group Top 10, a list of world records and world rankings from 2009. Our swim section has a column by Carlin Pipes-Nielsen on motivation to swim after the holidays and a pictorial on the best abdominal exercises to improve turns. Todd Schmitz, the coach of Colorado Stars, and Missy Franklin, does a Q&A with Mike Stott on page 30, and we've got a list of the best accomplishments across the country by age group swimmers on page 33. If you're not a premium subscriber, you're missing out on a lot of added content in our online digital version. From bonus stories to full meet results, you can get so much more than what you see in our print version. To become a premium subscriber, go to swimmingworld.com, click on the subscribe link.